I calculated the death rate of every single game in Squid Game Season 1 to 3, and then I ranked them in order from the least dangerous to the most dangerous. In last place at 11th is the six-legged pentathlon. 365 players took part, and a massive 255 players survived, giving this game a low death rate of 30.1%. At number 10 is red light, green light. 912 players played this game across the 2 seasons. Of those players, 566 players survived combined, giving this game a death rate of 37.9%. At number 9 is the Honeycomb Dalgona game, where 187 players take part, and 101 players survive, giving this game a death rate of 42.2%. At number 8 is the Marbles game from Season 1. 32 players took part, and you would think 16 survived, however it was actually 17 because the old man never actually died, giving this game a death rate of 46.875%. At number 7 is the Squid Game 1 finale, the Squid Game itself. 2 players obviously took part. Of course, only one of those players survived, obviously giving this one an easy 50% death rate. At number 6 is the Tug of War, also in Season 1. 80 players took part, 8 teams of 10. 4 of those teams were eliminated, so only 40 players survived, giving this game also a 50% death rate. However, I put it higher because more people died. At number 5 is our first Season 3 game, Hide and Seek, where 60 players took part. Of those 60 players, only 25 managed to survive, giving this game a death rate of 58.3%. Number 4 is one of my favourite games, Mingle. 255 players took part. Exactly 100 players survived this game, giving it a death rate of 60.8%. At number 3 is Jump Rope from Season 3. 24 players took part, however it's really 25 because they count the baby as an actual numbered player. Of those 25, 9 survived, including the baby, giving Jump Rope a death rate of 64%. At number 2 is the classic game from Season 1, the Glass Bridge Stepping Stones. 16 players took part. Of course, only 3 players survived, giving this game a huge death rate of 81.3%. Then at number 1, the most deadly game we've seen in the whole franchise is the Season 3 finale, the Sky Squid game. Only 9 players took part. Of course, we've all seen this now. Only 1 player survives, giving this game a massive death rate and the biggest we've seen of 88.8%.